The city is secure. Those who fled are being hunted, and those foolish enough to remain have been executed.
Do you see all that I have done?
Welcome everybody to a more relaxing video today. I didn't really want to do something too crazy as a rant, especially with a few more days left until the release of Destiny 2. But I did want to cover something that I've been noticing in the trailers, and I actually tried to reach out to two of the heads at Bungie through Twitter. Still didn't get any reply. So I tried to contact Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith. Still haven't gotten a reply, but it's something that's been bothering me, especially since it was released a couple of weeks ago, and everything that they've released afterwards. It's the second main cinematic trailer that we've had, where Goal approaches the speaker, and we notice that the speaker is captured by Goal. And it's something that we've been wondering for a while now, and something that we didn't know what was going on with the speaker, because Ikora goes to save him, then notices that he's gone, and she freaks out. And this is all in the first Homecoming mission. And I don't find that much of a spoiler. That's something that, that's good to get us hooked on. We want to know what happens to the speaker. But they ruined it with this trailer, and I feel like they could have fixed it so easily. They could have kept the audio, but they didn't have to show us the speaker, because the speaker doesn't say anything in that scene. They could have cut to the destruction of the city like they have in other monologues that Goal has. And here's a little fix that I actually did to it.
The city is secure. Those who fled are being hunted, and those foolish enough to remain have been executed.
Do you see all that I have done?
The war's over, and we've lost.
As you guys could see, it's not that greatly edited. I just put it together quickly, but I did keep the key moment of him giving his monologue, but it cuts away as the speaker's being lowered. So we're hooked that there's something there, but we don't know who he's talking to. We can skepticize that it is the speaker. We could skepticize that it's maybe Zavala, maybe Ikora, or some other guardian that maybe we have to go save in a mission. It would be something that keeps us on edge. It's, Goal is talking to somebody. Is it us? Is it the speaker? Is it one of our commanders of the Vanguard? We don't know. And I find that would have been a lot better on a trailer. And it's just something that bothers me, that Bungie never did this in the past. With Halo 2 and Halo 3, their marketing campaign was completely different. They never revealed that the elites were going to betray or be betrayed by the Covenant, and so this whole civil war would break out in Halo 2. And then in Halo 3, we weren't spoiled as to the fact that of, once again, the elites aiding humanity in fighting the Flood and going to the Ark and fighting against the Covenant. We were never shown this. And it was one of the greatest moments that I find in the campaign of being on High Charity in Halo 2 and just watching this total destruction between the Sangheili and the Brutes, and just watching them go at each other. All while you're there trying to accomplish a mission, and there's this whole greater war going on behind you. Although, obviously, the story in Destiny 2 would be different, and I'm sure there's a lot more depth to go into. And they would just cover such a wide spectrum in that campaign. But it's such a key moment that was just spoiled by a stupid little trailer, and that I can't overlook, that it just stresses me out. It pisses me off. And I just feel like Bungie could have done a lot of better job there. But like I said, I don't really want to rant about only that. I do have some other things I want to talk about, especially how their marketing campaign went from being a very, dark tone and very morbid tone, saying, hey, we lost our light and now we have to fight back, to, hey, this is some happy-go-lucky nonsense. I'm not talking about the pre-order trailer. That's fine, it's a little fun thing. It's, hey, this is a new gun we're throwing in if you pre-order. Although I still find pre-order bonuses or pre-order in general stupid, even though I'm one of those losers who pre-orders. I'm pretty hypocritical, but, gotta get me that early access beta that I got. But no, it's one of those things that the campaign and characters that we get to learn and know about through the campaign just keep getting spoiled. We have a set of trailers, or mini trailers, I guess, teasers, if you want, to get to know each character. So we got one for Cade, one for Ikora, one for Zavala, and that one I'm okay with. Those 3 I'm okay with. Because if we look at it, they were introduced to us in Destiny 1. And it's basically a callback saying, hey, these are the characters. These are the people that we know, that we love, and this is their situation. This is who they are, and this is how they feel about what's been going on. We see that Cade still has a sarcastic tone. Ikora still shuts down Cade at every chance she gets. And then we got Zavala, who's the charismatic leader, and he hasn't lost that charisma, even though he was destroyed. And we see that in some of the other little trailers that they have, that we saw, especially at the reveal stream. We see that Zavala is hit hard by what happens. And so I find that was very well executed. It was a little lighthearted. It allowed us to connect to the characters again and remember who they are and where they came from, their personality. And it also introduces a casual player who may not have played Destiny 1 or may not have known Cade and Zavala and Ikora all that well. And it just introduces them to who these characters are, so they know ahead of time, hey, these are the heads of the Vanguard, and they are truly hit by this. It's hard to them. It hits them right in the heart, and it hurts. But what pisses me off is the way they treated Hawthorne. Hawthorne is supposed to be this new character, total badass, as we can see in the little trailer that they give her. But it bothers me. Why? Because now I won't have that experience of getting to know who she is, her role in this war, her role in defending the European Dead Zone against Vandals, not Vandals, the Fallen, the Cabal, pretty much all the enemies that we could find in the European Dead Zone. I'm sure there's going to be Hive there too. We don't know. I haven't really seen any news about the Hive. Hopefully they do come back. I did enjoy them. But we just get spoiled. And it's one of those things that I'll compare it once again to Halo. We don't see the developers in Halo, the Bungie developers in Halo, just throw everything at us and say, hey, this is the Arbiter. This is 343 Guilty Spark. This is Sergeant Johnson. No. They let the story tell itself and explain itself, who these characters were. It's not like we were introduced to the Arbiter in Halo 2 or Halo 3 saying, hey, this is the tough, rough-skinned Arbiter who leads the Sankhili rebellion and allows them to ally themselves with the humans and fight back. No. Instead, we learn that they set aside their differences to fight this greater cause, to prevent the Covenant from firing the Halo rings. And we find this through the story, and they were great at telling stories, and I'm sure they still are. Yes, the story in Destiny 1 was hidden behind Grimoire until Taken King came out, and that was well fixed. Rise of Iron had a good story too, but I find it was too short and too condensed. But then again, that's restrictions on their developing team, and I gotta give them credit for a portion of their development team. They did pretty well, it just, the content didn't last. But they told a good story. So why can't they just leave it to us to discover who these new characters are and how they're going to guide us through our story? No, instead they got to give us a 30 to 45 second little snippet on how this character is introduced and how important this character is. It bothers me. Just like the hour and a half of gameplay at the European Dead Zone, I don't want to fucking see somebody else playing the game. Give me a little trailer, that's cool. I'll take the little trailer that's maybe a minute or two long. Little clips of, things you could do with the voiceover of, I forget that character's name. Give me a second, I'll have to go find it. Yeah, sorry. So, as I was saying, Devrim K, who we get to know in the EDZ and through this gameplay that they showed us, I would have liked to only hear the voiceover, not a whole introduction that they did the way they did. I just find Bungie has lost their marketing campaign. They lost focus on what it was. They went from having a great introduction, great segment, introducing Goal in a very hidden message, very hidden way, not really telling us directly that, he is a megalomaniac. Although they do say that in his 30-second snippet, but we already have that idea that he is a megalomaniac. They're just confirming it. But then you got Hawthorne, who gets spoiled, and that's a character that I would have loved to get to know. They mentioned her in the the preview stream on explaining who you are, what you're doing, how this is going to be developed, and how the story will unfold, very vaguely. And there was mention of Hawthorne, and there was also an image of Devrim K holding the No Land Beyond, or possibly a different version of the No Land. And that was something that I really liked, and I looked at that picture for a long time, and I picked apart, and I just speculated on my own, like, who this character might be. And that's part of the mystery that I love to solve. But they throw that mystery out the window, or who these characters are, and the whole getting to know them, the minute they showed that trailer. And it just bothers me to the core how they don't seem to give a care or half an ass about their hardcore fan base anymore. They try to, say that they care about the hardcore. They don't. Bungie's changed. And this small campaign to bring Destiny 2 into the spotlight so they can pump up numbers and sell, it isn't necessarily Bungie's fault. It's Activision's fault as well, because all they think about is money right now. But at the end of the day, who's going to be playing the game? Is it the casual players? Maybe some of them will become hardcore fans, but most of them will turn to Call of Duty World War II when that comes out. Some of them are going to go back to Battlefield 1. I don't want to go back to Battlefield 1. I love the game to death, but I want to get hooked on Destiny 2. I want to go explore. And yes, there are 3 other planets or worlds that we can go explore. But the EDZ is a big one, especially since, being of European descent and knowing how Europe is geographically, knowing that I've visited multiple countries now, and knowing how it looks, I'd love to see how a war-torn, old abandoned, just a dead zone, a literal European dead zone would look like through the eyes of Bungie. But now it's been spoiled. And it hurts, because it's something I would have loved to explore, something I would have loved to get to know. But now I can't. Now I've had an hour-long gameplay that I know I could avoid watching, but me being the person that I am, it just attracts me. Even if I'm just going to watch 5 or 6 minutes of it, it's just somebody else playing. And as much as I like watching Let's Play videos and watching other people play, I don't necessarily watch it for the gameplay. I watch it for the comedians, the people who make fun, funny jokes and interactions between one another. I don't necessarily watch it just for the gameplay. But unfortunately, that's all they're providing now. And I don't like this shit. And I'm sure a lot of people don't either. And knowing these videos that I put out, they don't get many views or much attention. But I hope this one does, because I'd love to hear what you people think about it, because it's something that developers need to learn to stop doing. Stop spoiling your campaign. Stop spoiling your stories. Look at indie developers. They produce games. They give you small little snippets. They give little ideas. But they don't give away their story. They don't give away plot points. Or even better, look at Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. When it was released, people didn't know what to expect. The last 6 Resident Evils, well, the last 3 I'll say, because the first early ones were pretty good apparently. I never played any of them, but I watched walkthroughs and gameplay of Resident Evil 7, and it felt like a true horror game, and people didn't expect that because the last one was so shit. Yeah, there were some trailers and some, little clues as how it was going to develop, but all that suspense, all that build-up was still there. And yes, it was a horror game. They couldn't really spoil everything without people getting pissed off because they wouldn't get scared anymore. But there was that suspense. It was well executed. People didn't know what to expect. I'm not saying that Destiny or Bungie should have done this, but they should have at least executed a little, a little more organization. I feel like they just put these last few trailers together. And today, I'm recording this the day they released the live action trailer. I love the live action trailer. It had a light mood. It was fun. It was something to get you engaged. But then again, it's a live action trailer. It's a whole different type of schematic that we're looking at. It's one thing to take the cinematics from the game and transform those into a trailer and take gameplay and put that into a trailer. And it's another thing to get actors dressed up in costume, working with CGI and green screens to bring this to us. It's a different type of organization and execution. And that I can understand for being lighthearted or even funny at times with Cade, especially since Cade is basically the comedy relief. And that one I'm okay with. I love it. I enjoyed it. It got me engaged. I loved watching how everything was executed with the CGI. I didn't know what was practical effects, what wasn't. Yes, it was a little cheaper on the budget, but what can you expect from a game developer? But at the same time, you look at the actual trailers that they put out, the cinematic trailers, it bothers me. Because the last few trailers they put out were just so it was a backhand to all hardcore players. The casual players, hey, this is what you can expect. But the hardcore players who want that suspense, who want to be built up, just won't be able to be built up. It's total shit, in my opinion. But once again, this is all my opinion, and this is just a rant, and I'm just sad at this point. I'm still going to get Destiny 2. I have it pre-ordered. It's ready to download. I have preloaded already on my Xbox. And yes, I'm an Xbox fag who won't buy a PS4 because I don't think the exclusives are that important. And that's a whole other story for another day. This whole exclusivity shit, it annoyed me even when I was an Xbox player and they had all this exclusive shit for Call of Duty on Xbox and it came out a month later on COD for PlayStation or whatever the fuck it was. But that's a whole other story. That's something I don't even want to touch right now because it's another rant and I don't really want to rant. I just want to express how I feel like Bungie has taken a step down from where they used to be. And I'm sure a lot of people also feel like this. But I hope you guys took the time to at least listen to most of what I had to say. This is going to be a fairly long video, and I hope some of you agree with me. Those who disagree with me, that's fine. I'm good with it. I'm a diehard fan. I love Destiny. But when I see a developer fuck up this bad, it bothers me. And I'm sure it bothers a lot of you too. And I'm sure the more casual fans or the real diehard fans who just can't hear somebody dissing their game will, either dislike or hate this video. All three people that are going to watch this. But that's how I feel, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. And if not, I'd love to hear a comment about it. I'd love to hear you disagree with me in the comment section. And we could have a civil conversation about it, a civil debate without it getting heated. Because I know how Destiny fans are about their game. It's just the same way that I was about Halo. I used to have buddies in high school who used to always constantly say, Halo sucks, PlayStation is better, I don't know why you guys have Halo, it's a total crap game, COD is so much better. I played COD, I played Halo. I never got attached to COD. I enjoy it. I love zombies. I loved playing Spec Ops on MW3 and playing a little bit of Spec Ops on MW2, but I really got into COD and MW3, and Black Ops 2 was my shit. But I loved Halo Reach. I loved the story in Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST. Those were all games that I got invested in the characters very early on. And I haven't been able to do that with Destiny. As much as I love the lore, I love the mystery, I love exploring the different world. Even now, I'll go back, I'll remake another character, just to have that whole nostalgia from the beginning. Because when I started playing this game, I was alone. I wasn't living with my parents, was off in another country alone doing my own thing. And all I had was to fall back and relax and play some Xbox and just forget about the struggles of my day. And Destiny was that, relaxing moment in my day. I got to just go farm some engrams or go farm some materials, play some missions, level up. This was back in the day where grinding was the biggest thing, and even then, finding an exotic was the greatest moment of my life. I didn't know anything about the story. I got into lore videos maybe a month or two after that, but I absolutely loved it. And it's something that I feel like Destiny 2 is going to miss out because the Grimoire is gone, and it's just, if the story keeps getting spoiled through trailers, especially with the DLCs coming up and possible other DLCs that are going to be after that, I hope they don't do too many expensive DLCs, because I understand paying off, and if there's no microtransactions, I'm willing to pay for some expansions. That's completely fine. People do it for World of Warcraft, I'm sure, or some other, RPG style games. It's fine. Just don't give us microtransactions with it. But that's also another whole conversation for another day. It's something that bothers me, and I just really wanted to talk about it. I've been talking to some buddies as well, and some of them don't feel as attached to Destiny as I do. I guess it's just because of the emotional connection that I had to this game. But I do know that they care about this game as well. It's just they see that the way Bungie has been treating it, and I've seen the way they treat it, and they take the fans sometimes for granted. They think that just because of their name, the people will come flocking. And yeah, people will come flocking, especially with a publisher behind you like Activision, who will bust out money, stacks of money, just to sell the game. If they make those sales digits, they're gonna love you. And that's what Bungie has to do right now. And I understand that a lot of the planning and execution has been due to both Activision and Bungie's part, and I'm fine with it. I don't agree with Activision on some things, but we all have our differences, and they are a corporation. They are there to make money, and it's something that I have to get over, because I am a hardcore gamer. I love gaming, and this rant is going on for way too long. I'm looking at the time; it's already fucking 1:20 in the morning, and I still want to try and edit this shit out. Oh god, it's gonna be a long night. But no, it's one of those things that I'm very passionate about, and I'm sure a lot of Destiny fans are too, and they probably won't get as annoyed about a trailer as I would, and neither are my buddies on Xbox or anything. Hell, some of them might think I'm crazy for doing something like this, but it's something that touches me in a special place. Not between my legs, but in my ribcage. Not my lungs, my heart. It's something that I feel emotionally invested in, and something that I gave a lot of time and energy into. And I've fallen in love with this game, but it seems like it's past that honeymoon phase where, everything was lovey-dovey and great, and now it's just dead. And Destiny 2 hopefully will revive that, and hopefully with the vast worlds that they're talking about, and having lost sectors and new public events and treasure chests and shit like that, it's going to be amazing. I'm sure I'm going to be spending more time on the PvE side than the PvP like before. I used to love PvP, and honestly the beta was perfect for me. A lot of people complain about it, but I find it was just enough of PvP and PvE for me to find that it was well executed. And I'm very excited to see what comes, but the story spoilers and the way the campaign is being executed, I'm sure, like they said, it's going to be a very cinematic campaign, but I'm sure you've blown at least half, hopefully not half, hopefully it's like a tenth of your cinematics, but you've blown a lot of cinematics, Bungie. You've used them in trailers. I understand it's hard to make new cinematics for a cinematic trailer, but I'm sure there are ways. You could edit it or reuse some old footage, edit it in a different way. But yeah, it's an annoyance more than anything. It's hard to see a great company go from such a high standard to just seem like they don't care. But I hope you guys did stick around this long. I'm going to try and edit this shorter. It's almost at 25 minutes. I really don't want to keep you guys waiting anymore. I hope you guys agree with some of my points. If you don't, comment down below. Let me know your opinion, and we'll have a nice little civil discussion. Like it, dislike it. I hope you do like it. It'll show me that you guys support the ideas and both support me as well. If you guys did enjoy this, do subscribe. I hope to grow this channel a little out. Not too much, but something that's nice, that we'll have somewhere to go and talk about stuff like this that bothers us, both in Destiny and other games, I'm sure. But that's it for me, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and hopefully I don't see you on another episode like this, but maybe another rant or another silly theory video that I'll make. But that's it for me, guys.